the first example that I would like to bring up is Blizzard. Now this first example is really iffy. It's really out there. I don't know if I'm totally correct on this, on some of these points, bullet points that I'm going to make, but um, try it out anyway to see if it might be right, might not be. Blizzard is an example. Okay, now hear me out. World of Warcraft. Is it the end of WoW? That is my big question for this example. Because Blizzard recently made Overwatch, as I'm sure plenty of you know this. Overwatch has captured the hearts of thousands of gamers. Last summer that came out, if I'm not mistaken. That's when it came out. It was like midsummer, something like that. And now keep that in mind. Keep that release date, release time in mind while I keep going on. You will also hear me bring up some other important release dates that I think are also worth noting. So Overwatch in the summer, this last summer, it's going to be what the first approaching, and this summer will be the first year, an anniversary of release, I guess. Interesting what they might do. Keep an eye on for what they do. They've already done some games like NPC games, right? Like kind of like a campaign. Keep that in mind. Um, but Overwatch is mostly a online, competitive online game. Uh, for the most part, PvP. But as I mentioned, had an event recently that was not just PvP. Interesting. Keep that in mind because that could bring a little bit light into our discussion. What is WoW? What is World of Warcraft? World of Warcraft is PvP and also has a campaign. My question is Blizzard thinking of having a replacement? Think about that. So Overwatch, and then Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm came out, and that was an addition to this MOBA market. Another interesting thing you want to keep in mind because MOBAs, could they be played on mobile? I don't know. We'll see. Are they? No. They're on PC though. Then Hearthstone. Hearthstone is the key example in this because Hearthstone uh, has has been released. Was released around 2000. Oh, see, I should have wrote some important dates down. I didn't write down the release date for that, but 2013, 2014, something like that, on mobile and PC. It's a card game that's free to play, and you can use in-game money to get more, or optionally, you can purchase with real money. Is this a coincidence that Blizzard is making all these kind of releases, kind of this barrage of releases of new games? You have Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm, and Hearthstone, all around the same time period, and they're all vastly different from one another, except for Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch are maybe kind of the same, except that one's a MOBA and one's first person. or third person. First person, I guess. Let's see. Overwatch. Oh, okay. This isn't a coincidence, I believe, because here's the thing. Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm, and Hearthstone have also become very popular. Now, this is Blizzard we're talking about. They do very, very well, usually. You don't usually see a Blizzard game tank, right? Um, so World of Warcraft, for example, still on the first row of Twitch. Usually they're right up there on the first or second row of most viewed games on Twitch, but free games like Heroes of the Storm and like Hearthstone, with optional real money items, is also very lucrative and also do very well. So they're also on the top page of Twitch. Overwatch is not free. You have to pay for that. There is not a subscription, and there is not. Oh, there is. I don't know. Is there free money in that or not? I guess I should know that. I'm not sure about that. But regardless, you have to pay for the game at first. But you see Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm do very well. If we're using Twitch as an example or proof of this, we see they're right up there with on the first, second, third row. I don't know where Heroes of the Storm is. Are they? That's something I should have checked. I think they're usually up there pretty far. But Overwatch it certainly is. Yes, WoW is too, but in 2000, and this is where my argument kind of goes a little bit, now that we have the groundwork laid, this is where my argument kind of goes a little bit out there, but it's still, I'll try my best. As to saying why World of Warcraft is being replaced. And that is that in 2013, I think, their subscriptions declined. They had a peak, 12 million, I think it was, around, I don't remember the expansion pack name. Lich King, it might have been Lich King that this peaked at. The vanilla game had a consistent rise, meaning it went upward until after this not the most recent, the Cataclysma or something, whatever that expansion was, kind of started to decline. So after Lich King started to decline, and then Mist of Pandaria, I think, is not the most recent, or is the most recent. I don't know, but anyway, that's when they've really started to tank in subscription numbers. And then keep in mind, this is around the same time Hearthstone is released. That they come out with a mobile game as well as it's also played on the PC, but you can play it on a phone. And here I have to veer away from my argument for just a little while to kind of stabilize my argument, I suppose, in that why do they choose to do mobile game? This is important to understand also, because everybody has a phone, and if you don't have, everybody has a smartphone, and if you don't have a smartphone, um, it doesn't really matter. You still have a phone, is the point, really. Because really, eventually, you're going to um, advance, upgrade to a smartphone. So you have, everybody has a phone. Everybody can play Hearthstone, and everybody can spend money on new cards, other optional items. Um, and now here's my other company name that I'm going to bring up as an example is Konami. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Konami thing, but Konami has actually recently gone to more of a mobile game company as well. And this is the bigger example because this one I did not write this one down. I wrote down my World of Warcraft examples. In Metal Gear Solid was released, Metal Gear 3, I think, or Metal Gear Solid 4, one of the two, was released by Konami, and then, and that's when, again, their sales peaked. They had a lot of, and in fact, Konami has each division for their fiscal earnings. Konami's they had Metal Gear Solid as its separate earnings. So they had action adventure, they had blah blah blah, whatever RPG. They also had Metal Gear Solid. So that was their own sales report was their Metal Gear Solid, and they had peaked and they started to go down. Around this time, this is when Konami or Hideo Kojima is thinking about leaving uh, Konami and is starting to be treated pretty poorly at Konami, and then he eventually left and made his own company. But around this time, actually, just kind of a happy accident for Konami, they released a mobile game, and I can't remember the name of it, but it actually boosted their sales after the Metal Gear Solid peaked, and then they had that fall in income revenue. They had a big boost, and this came in that mobile game. And then so since then, Konami has actually been doing more mobile games, and they actually changed their company structure. I think in that they are a want to release only mobile games. They have like I don't know what it is. I think it's like some kind of arcade division, and they have a gaming division, but they also now have a mobile, and the mobile is grown so much so that it's kind of taken over the company, and that's their primary focus. The arcade, whatever that was, and the game was like video games was secondary to their primary department of mobile gaming. And examples of this can be there's a mobile game they released, a Yu-Gi-Oh mobile game, Duel Links. And Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Links, yes. And that is free to download, but costs money to buy optional items. This is real money we're talking about, as well as in-game currency as well. But they do pretty well in their mobile games apparently because of that big increase they had. That game I can't remember, mobile game I can't remember, but yeah, that's my story. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. So I guess in the end, my closing argument would be that uh, was I going to say? That the future of gaming is in fact grim. If you're like me and you like your console, your platform, like your PS4 and your Xbox, um, although I don't have an Xbox, I'm a Sony fanboy, so looking at my PS4 right now, you you could make the argument that Nintendo, with the release of Nintendo Switch, and I think that's also something you have to realize too. Everybody has a smartphone, and game companies realize this, so they don't need to make a expensive machine to run games now. They can just have you download it on your phone, make it compatible for both Android and what is it? Apple, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. You don't say Apple though. I can't remember what you say. But anyway, you just need to make it compatible for those two. Then there you go. Your fans will do the rest. They'll go in, download the game, and soon enough, you'll be getting some income from them buying optional items like appearance. You know, you see this in free MMORPGs all the time. Optional items for clothing or appearance or something like that. And it seems to work for them. League of Legends, for example, talking about MOBAs. Well, I suppose you could say Hearthstone too with Blizzard. You want to buy, you know, you can buy the game for free, play the game for free, but if you want to buy things, you're going to have to pay some money or grind in-game currency, which takes a long time. And you get more of that in-game currency when you win games and when you level up. And you level up and win games when you're good, obviously. You can't win games and level up when you're a poor player. So not only will it take you a long time, it'll be much faster if you're good at the game. And we're talking, you know, how many people out there, you know, win every single game that they play in a MOBA, right? So I don't know. So I was saying Nintendo Switch, for example, came out like I was gonna say I'd love to play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but I don't have a Nintendo Switch. But you see, if they have a somehow really make a really good smartphone and release Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you know, perfect graphics and all that. Not perfect graphics, you know what I mean. Same graphics and all that, but on a phone, then I could buy it, and they'd make a lot of money too. Um, yes, you would have to. In that case, you would, you know, okay, you want to play Breath of the Wild on your phone, pay me. You know what I mean? You can't just, that's not one you can't just download for free. Assuming you could do that in the first place. So my argument is that the future of gaming would be going headed towards some kind of mobile, which is, in my opinion, again, this is in real life, and I've said before, in real life is about expressing opinions. My opinion is that that's not very good because you can't really do much more else in the mobile gaming area. Why do I say that? Because you have a touchscreen. What are you going to do? Just are you going to add a controller to phones? No. Nobody wants to be like carrying around a controller to plug into their phone just to play a game while they're waiting in line for their takeout. That's why you have a touchscreen, so you can just, you know, touch all over the phone. Now, yeah, you can still make improvements like VR. You see. So is VR a also in the future of gaming? I would say yes, but I don't see a lot of people playing VR in public, which is why it's going to advance even more. So to the point that you could play a VR game on your phone without anybody knowing. The person sitting next to you wouldn't even know that you're playing a game because that's how much it will advance. So that way, you get more people playing your games, and you don't need this giant headset. That's my point. You don't need a giant headset to play, and people are like, yeah, that guy's what a nerd. He's playing a game in public. Oh, a link. Hey, thank you for that. I will check it out. Gun slash. Sorry, I have a weird setup right now. I have a webcam right there and my chat right there. So, and I have poor eyesight apparently, so I can't read it from here. But it's a link. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll check that out after my rant here. But yeah, you don't need giant headset to play games. People wouldn't point. I know I wouldn't wear some clunky thing on my head just to play a game. No way. People are gonna make fun of me. So that brings me to my last big thing, which is the idea of having some kind of upload your consciousness into a game like we see in the Matrix movies, for example. I know it's far out there, but that way, you can walk around, do things, and play your game, and everybody's playing the game. If you've seen the anime Sword Art Online, that type of thing. It's not a very good argument because it's no longer mobile gaming. It's now virtual reality. I don't consider the VR nowadays to be VR, right? That's not real VR. That's just putting a phone in front of your face. And I mean, I've done some of that VR. It's not that great if you ask me. I'm waiting for the series like the Matrix stuff. That level of gaming, yeah. Now that's not going to be, as I said, that's not going to be mobile gaming, but it's going to lead into that. I think it will evolve into that, because people will realize that you can't just, you really can't play, like I said, Legend of Zelda or something like that, or like The Last of Us, on an iPhone in public, right? Even if you did have some kind of controller, right? What are you going to do? Hey guys, no, I'm playing my game. No way, that can happen. All right, let's check this thing out here. See what this says here.
You need a
Oh,
website. Why
is
not
that
do it
loud?
yourself?
I don't know
With
if that.
Wix, you can create your own professional website. Choose from hundreds of templates, whether you're a small business owner.
Now, I could be wrong, but um, I don't know what. I think the rules for in real life is that I can't show. I mean, it's a video. It can't be anything that I don't own copyrighted, right? So I suppose I could just look at it myself, but I don't know that I can show it on stream. But we'll take a look at it anyways. Full playable, Breath of the Wild. Whoa. Okay. Let's see what this is. Let's see, take a look at this here. I have to bring this window over. As I said, obviously I can't read. Just more examples of uh, optional items, clothing items, optional appearance stuff that you can buy. Check out video description to access the closed store. Ah, I gotcha. Custom saves. Interesting. Okay, okay. Ground fix. Link no longer sink in the ground. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to watch the rest of it later. Thank you. I do appreciate that contribution to the discussion. So, anyways, that's about all I got. Really, I kind of finished a little bit early. Um, as I said earlier, I can't be going too much. Can't go too long today, this morning at least, because I have to work a little bit later on, and I also I didn't say this part, but I ran out of breakfast items, and I've been hooked on Burger King's French toast sticks, and they closed their breakfast. I mean, they're not McDonald's, which is another topic of discussion I could also talk about at some point. Is the whole breakfast craze going on in fast food. I'll give you a little preview for that. I don't think McDonald's all-day breakfast thing is all that brilliant, because that's something that I've been hoping any fast food place does for years. And they come out with this and expect people to be excited about it. Excuse me, but it's something that I liked way before it was even a thought in the McDonald's corporate room, was all day breakfast. That's just common sense. That's not even an idea. That's just, dude, why didn't you do this way long ago? Uh, Check out Denny's and IHOP, a place I frequently go to because it's breakfast. Who doesn't like breakfast? Don't make an all-day breakfast thing menu. Expect me to be excited about it when I've been harping on that for years. It's not that smart of a thing, McDonald's. That's a preview. That can be a little preview for my next topic, which could be about all-day breakfast, because I have quite a bit to say about that too.